Okay, everyone, let's get started with this webinar. So thanks again for joining us for today's webinar using Cloudinary and PubNub functions for real-time image manipulation. My name's Grace and I'm a marketing manager at PubNub, and today we're joined by Cloudinary. We have Prosper, who's a developer advocate at Cloudinary. Do you want to say a few words, Prosper?
Yeah, Grace, thank you very much. I'm really excited to be here, and I'm so pumped up to show the users what's possible with PubNub and Cloudinary for today.
Well, we're super excited to have you here. We also have Craig Conover, our amazing customer support manager, who will be online answering questions throughout the webinar. So feel free to submit questions throughout, but just remember we will be reserving the last 15 minutes for a live Q&A. So if you have any questions, again, feel free to submit. So we've got a lot of exciting content to go over with you today. I'll be beginning with a quick introduction to PubNub, and then Prosper will be taking it over for most of the webinar to tell you about Cloudinary, have an amazing demo, and we'll kind of talk to you about the PubNub Cloudinary partnership. And again, like I said, the last 15 will be for a Q&A. As a reminder, though, this is a live recorded webinar, so don't worry so much about taking notes or anything. We do send out the recordings to you tomorrow, so yeah, and just sit back, relax, and enjoy the learning. So I know some of you guys might have attended some of PubNub's webinar in the past, so bear with us while I give a quick introduction to PubNub for those of you who are new. So PubNub can connect any device in the world in under 250 milliseconds. Let me tell you a little bit more about how we're helping developers with real-time innovation today. So if we think about 5 years ago, people didn't mind waiting 15 minutes for their device or client to request data from the server. But keeping users waiting is a thing of the past now. Real-time technology and apps that deliver information to users as it happens is part of our everyday lives. People expect to receive data in real time with always-on connectivity, whether that's a geolocation app like Uber or a medical alert and chat application like Hippocrates, an Internet of Things application like Nest. It's all around us. And incidentally, PubNub powers many of these companies' real-time applications, including Yelp, Athena Health, ESPN, Pocket Gems, Coca-Cola, and eBay, and so many more. At the end of the day, real-time technology has become integral to many of our favorite products, and as a result, we often don't recognize it as a specific feature. It's just simply expected. So while customers and users are demanding real-time products now, building out the required infrastructure for real-time applications is very challenging. On the security side, the requirements are different than for traditional request-response infrastructure. How do you encrypt data without introducing latency? On the reliability side, how do you deliver 5 nines SLA when you have data centers around the globe? How do you deal with mobile devices that can lose connectivity sporadically? On the scalability side, how do you scale while remaining sensitive to latency, geographic distribution, global synchronization, and the ability to handle spikes? Building out this infrastructure by yourself takes time and expertise, which can easily get expensive and also detract you from your core competencies, which is probably customer innovation. PubNub helps enable application developers to leverage the best real-time technology without having to earn a PhD in real-time infrastructure. So PubNub's been in business for around 6 years now, and we power some of the biggest and best innovators who require real-time technologies all around the world. So whether it's a social app, IoT, chat collaboration, real-time is everywhere. And these are just some of the customer use cases that highlight that across several different industries and use cases. As the largest distributed computing network in the world, we're already processing 5 times the amount of data than Twitter, and we're just getting started. With over 2,000 customers and on 330 million unique devices publishing and receiving streams of data, our customers are finding new ways to innovate and monetize these streams. So let me just kind of give you a quick overview of PubNub's major features and how it can work within your environment. PubNub takes its core of PubSub low latency bidirectional communication and builds several features on that to help developers create all sorts of real-time innovations even faster. It wraps this platform of messaging and related features in a tight layer of security that includes fine-grained access control. You can easily integrate PubNub into your larger deployment too, whether it's based on premises or in the cloud on GCP, Azure, or AWS via PubNub's gateways. Here are also a little bit more detail on the major features in PubNub's platform. So we have gateway support integrations to the major cloud hosting providers, as well as mobile push integrations, Apple push notification services, and Google Cloud messaging. There's presence detection, which provides presence and state functionality and makes it easy to answer the question of who's online and what are they doing. The Blocks catalog offers dozens of partner-built open source serverless applets to help you innovate on PubNub more quickly, which Prosper will talk to you a little bit more about in a bit. There's also Stream Controller, which allows you to receive messages on multiple channels from a single network connection. So this vastly extends your ability to connect to and manage large number of streams while keeping bandwidth costs to a minimum. And then there's Storage and Playback, also informally referred to as the History API. And that allows you to store messages as they're published and retrieve the previously published messages at a later time. And then there's also Functions. And Functions provide serverless logic within PubNub networks. So you can apply programming logic to streams of data. This is something we'll also get into a little bit more about in our demo today. So PubNub can help support all types of real-time use cases, but we see the majority of our successful customer deployments in three main areas, and that's chat and collaboration, IoT device control, and real-time updates. So that's it for a little bit about PubNub. I'm going to pass the mic over to Prosper, who's going to tell you a little bit more about Cloudinary.
Hi guys. So Cloudinary is basically a service that provides robust storage for your media assets, images, audio, video, also provides flexible image manipulation and allows you to do what you call an optimized delivery of these assets for your users. And if you look at what we have on the screen, we have 5 highlighted: media upload, cloud storage, administration, transformation, and fast delivery. So Cloudinary provides an API. It also provides a very lovely upload widget that allows you to upload from Facebook, from Dropbox, from your Google Drive, and also from the user's computer. And also we enable you to upload from an external service, so you can upload an image down to Cloudinary. And one thing about Cloudinary also is we provide what you call an administration dashboard. So even if you have no programming experience, you can, from the dashboard, you can manipulate images, you can provide all forms of transformations, and you can have access to your media metadata, advanced facial characteristics, user roles and permissions, reporting statistics for all your media assets. And you also have an editor, like I said earlier, that you can use to perform all sorts of transformations for your images. And down to transformation, you have all sorts of filter and cropping and all sorts of manipulation you want to do to your images. And here we just have a list of some of those manipulations: effects and zooming, image overlay, watermark, advanced resizing and cropping, flipping the images, altering the shapes of the images, different types of photo effects and filters, branding your images. Cloudinary provides the ability for you to do all of that. And one of the most important things when you are delivering media assets to users is you want them to be delivered very fast. So with Cloudinary, we offer what you call a multi-CDN delivery that takes advantage of Akamai, Fastly, and CloudFront to be able to deliver these assets to you very fast. Also, we provide end-to-end optimization, like I mentioned earlier. So you can optimize your images. Say you are uploading an image of, say, 100 MB. Instead of delivering 100 MB to your users, you can deliver 50 MB, 10 MB, and then not also lose the quality of the image. So also when it comes to responsiveness, the way the images get delivered on mobile, on the web, on different types of images, with Cloudinary, we offer what you call on-the-fly features that allows you to manipulate and deliver these images on different formats: auto resizing, auto responsiveness, and auto format. Now you can also change the formats of your media assets. Like you want to change the format of the video codec, you want to change the format of the audio, you want to change the format of the image to a different format. With Cloudinary, you can easily do all of that. This is just a visual representation of how the smart compression works. You have an image on the left, 250 kilobytes, you have it reduced to 150 and 250, and yet it still retains a fairly the same quality. So noticeable to the eyes, you can't actually see the difference, but then under the scene is actually reducing the quality. I mean, it's actually reducing the size of the image and delivering them to your users in a way that your users can actually see a very clear image. This is just a visual representation of how the optimization and the delivery happens. And here we have the dashboard. So you have, say you have a designer, or say you have a non-technical person that needs to be able to manipulate your images and your assets. We have a very quality dashboard where you can actually, change all the characteristics of the image that you want to do. You can apply all sorts of transformations, and by the side, you have a live preview of how the image is going to look like after applying all the set transformations, changing the width, changing the height, performing some form of auto cropping, dynamic, resizing the images, applying all sorts of overlay. You can do all of that from the dashboard, the administration dashboard. Also, we have the different use cases for using Cloudinary. Now, you can use them for your social, you can use them for your interactive widgets. You can also use them for your email personalization widgets. You can also use them for A/B testing, and we have very good examples that you can see on the screen. You can actually brand your images. Say you are uploading an image or some set of images to a shop, you can actually easily brand them with your logo using Cloudinary behind the scenes. And we also have use cases for like business apps where you can actually change the format of the images. You can also apply all sorts of filters to your product images. Then also you can use them for your social apps to, resizing the images automatically on the fly, changing them to a certain type before you deliver them to your users. So Cloudinary offers all of these. And here we are getting to the fun part, which is the demo. And what this demo basically shows is how you can integrate, you can use PubNub blocks with Cloudinary in an app. And I'm just going to show you how this demo works. All right, so let me just run this again. All right, what we have here is basically a chatbot. But then I'm just going to give you an overview of the technologies used here. So we're using React on the front end, and then we're using the PubNub blocks. So right now, I'm just going to show you how I set up some of the technologies before I go into the demo. So right now you have, I have two blocks. I have two functions. I have the make URL function on PubNub, and I also have the pass text. And then I also have, I created an account on Cloudinary, and when you create an account on Cloudinary from the console, you can easily have access to your credentials. And this is where you get your credentials from. You have your cloud name, you have your API keys that you can use. So let's go back to the PubNub dashboard. Like I said earlier, we have two blocks. You have the pass text and you have the make URL. And then in this demo is just a real-time chatbot. When I put in some commands, you can see it on the screen, and then we can do some form of image manipulation and resizing, basically. So let's get started. So I'm just going to say, good morning. We have that happen. So this is basically what happens. I have a pass text function, okay? So when I say good morning, just before it gets delivered to the users, it is actually sent right now. Right now, I have an example here. I have the Cloudinary React demo.herokuapp.com. That's a server where this text is sent to, and then the text is passed and it's sent back to the Cloudinary block. And the reason why I have this is you can, when you have an app in production, sometimes you want to move, when you're moving this app, you move them in phases. So you have some URL endpoints and you can't just move everything at the same time. So you can start to move them bits by bits. So you take advantage of PubNub blocks, which offers the serverless architecture for you, where you don't have to, you just have a JavaScript code on Cloudinary blocks, and you can interact with whatever API or service you want to interact with. So right now, let's go back to the demo. I have good morning. And next thing we do is let's try to upload an image and see how that goes. So I'm just going to try to upload, this is a Cloudinary widget. This is a very nice shirt. Okay, so this is the shirt that is being displayed back to us. And how did that work? Let's go back to the PubNub block. Now, when you send a command, what happens is it publishes the command to a parse text channel. Now, when it sends it to a parse text channel, the channel returns an action. And based on that action, it goes to the make URL block and looks for that action. Do we have that action? If we have that action defined here, it goes ahead and does something. It does a particular form of transformation. So here, when we uploaded that image, it returned an action of image. Look at it here. It returned an action of image, and then the text it returns is please use image, which returns the image from Cloudinary, the link from Cloudinary. Because as we uploaded the image was sent to Cloudinary and the URL of the image was returned to us. So if you go back to the demo and you just open this in a new tab, you can see the URL from Cloudinary and you can see the image itself. So yeah, we have that image now. What can we do with it? What's the size of this image? Let's check it out. Let's quickly check that in the DevTools console. Oh, yeah, this image is pretty large, 750 by 750. Let's reduce the width of this image with a basic command. So say, please set the width to 400. Voila. So we have this reduced. Let's check. Is it actually 400? Or that's what it just displays on the screen. So if we check here from the URL, you can actually see that it's 400, width 400. This is the ease of Cloudinary. From the URL, you already see that you can change the size. But let's check it here. So if you look at the size here, we have 400 by 400. And like I said, this is how it basically works. As we put in the command to set the width to 400, it published it to the parse text. The parse text returned an action of resize based on that command. And from our make URL function here, we have a resize function, right? So with this resize function, it comes here and then applies the required transformation. Like I said, with Cloudinary, you can provide on the fly resizing on the fly. So you can just send in the parameters and it goes ahead to resize it based on just with the URL. So this is what it did. It appended the size of the size that we specify, which is 400, and then it returned a URL that says width w_400 width 400, and that's why we have this image here right now. So now what's the type of image we have here? Right now, if you look at this image, we have a JPG. So let's do something interesting. Let's change the format of the image from JPG to WebP. So we can just say, please display the image in WebP format. All right, let's see. Is it WebP? Put the image in a new tab. Voila. You can see we have that in WebP format, just with the aid of a command. And if we go to our PubNub block, you can see what happens. When we said, please display the image in WebP format, it took the action format. So it sent the text, it returned an action of format on the PubNub side of things, the PubNub block, and then it sends that to Cloudinary, and Cloudinary returns a WebP format of the image. So now that we have a WebP format of the image, let's do something interesting. Let's add some filters to it. So let's say, please auto contrast and what again? Okay, auto sharpen this. Okay, look at this new image compared to this image. You can see there's a difference. So right now it has applied some transformations to this image. So if you open that on a new tab for visibility, you can see that this image is quite different from this image. We've applied some transformation, which is applying a contrast and sharpening the image. Now from the URL, which is the beauty of Cloudinary, you can actually see what we have just done. It applied an auto contrast and a sharpened transformation to the image. And then if you go to the PubNub side of things, like I said, look at the action. Now the action here is a compound action. We have two actions going on. We have the auto contrast action and we have the auto sharpen action. So it goes ahead, it publishes to the pass text. The pass text sends it to the make URL block, and the make URL block comes back with the required action for what we want to do. So now that we have that, let's try to center this image. Let's make it square or something. So please make it square and center the dress. All right, let's check it again. Okay, so you can see we have the width height, the width 400, the height is 400, and we have the crop fill. So we have centered the image, and right now it's basically a square. So you can see how very simple it is for you to be able to perform this manipulation and optimization with Cloudinary. And then we are also taking advantage of serverless architecture by using PubNub blocks. So everything is happening up online without us having to spin our own server. The only part where we spun our server was what I said here initially, the Cloudinary React demo, and it provides just one endpoint. It sends the text to that endpoint and returns an action. But then also you can actually move this server to another block, to another PubNub block, so that you don't have a request going to an external server. But then you can also do a hybrid, communicating with a server, your own server, and still running the serverless architecture. You can do whatever you want to do with. There are several ideas around this. So let's go back to our demo. What else? So let's do one last thing. Let's try to brand this our very nice dress. This dress is unique, so let's brand it. Say, please overlay Acme logo at the south west corner. Aha. Okay, so you see we've actually branded our very nice shirt with the image of a flower. Let's say my company, this is the logo of my company, a flower, because maybe I love flowers, which is great. But with the help of Cloudinary, if you open that on a new tab, you can see with the help of Cloudinary, we've been able to brand this shirt. So wherever you see this shirt now, it belongs to Prosper of Unicode Labs, that has a flower as the logo of his company. And if you come back to PubNub, you can see what's happening here. He sent a request to pass text block. Pass text block returned an action, which is what? The overlay action. And then we have the logo. Now, one thing I will just quickly say is that this logo has been uploaded beforehand, so it's already on the Cloudinary account. So you can have that in your own account. So when you say, please overlay the logo, it just goes ahead and fetches that logo and brands it with the new image that you just uploaded, which we just did right here. So we have the action, and then let's go back to the make URL. The make URL returns the URL from Cloudinary. So if you look at it, the same URL here is what we have here on the branded image. So that's basically how the chatbot works. Very simple. If you just want to check out the code, it's very simple. We have the code using React. We just have React on the front-end side of things, and it connects to PubNub blocks. And I think we are done showing what the demo is all about. So I think I'll give it back to Grace to continue.
Yeah, so we want to give you kind of like a brief highlight and overview of what the PubNub Cloudinary partnership is like. So I know that Prosper just did an amazing demo just highlighting the Cloudinary PubNub block. So do you kind of want to, I guess, give a quick, recap of what that block is and how, people might be able to access it?
Okay. So, right now, in the demo, I talked about how this enables you to take advantage of the serverless architecture. You don't have to run your own server. You just have a PubNub block where you can write your code in JavaScript, and you have all of that, perform some function, some customized business logic that you want, and then you do whatever you want to do on the PubNub block side of things. So with the Cloudinary PubNub block, it's simply a block that allows you to use Cloudinary service with the PubNub Programmable Network. So on the PubNub side of things, you are basically doing all your transformation and optimization of your images or your media assets on PubNub. Now, if I can quickly show you what this link does. So with the link here, if you click on that link, you actually see what the Cloudinary block gives you. It allows you to do all sorts of image manipulation and transformation, dynamic resizing, cropping, converting on the fly. But then the beauty about this is what we have done for this block is we have given you a template. So basically, we are saying, hey, this is a superpower, take it and make advantage and leverage it in your app. So if you click on try now, what it basically does is it imports a Cloudinary code template into your PubNub account. So let me change this to Cloudinary demo 2 and click on get started. Oh, okay. So let's just do something here. Got here. Right, so this is the template it actually imports. Okay, so with this is a template that you can use to get started. Here you specify the cloud name, the image, the transformation you want, the resource, and the operation, and it goes ahead and builds the URL and returns the Cloudinary URL that offers the type of transformation and optimization you want. And then you can go ahead and have a test payload here. Specify the image you want, specify your cloud name, which is your Cloudinary account name, then the type of operation you want, and the transformation. So if you specify it here and click on test, it goes ahead to test and returns the result here. So the PubNub Cloudinary block is just a block on PubNub that gives you a Cloudinary template for how you can go ahead and manipulate and optimize your images using the serverless architecture. So that's basically what that's all about.
Yeah, so thanks again, Prosper, for that really great demo and giving us a quick recap about PubNub and Cloudinary. So at the end, kind of summarizing this, is the power of PubNub and Cloudinary is just that we make it super easy for developers to build robust image management solutions into the applications and services. So as Prosper kind of just showed you, it's very easy to get started with PubNub and Cloudinary technologies. You just get started by subscribing to PubNub first. We have a super liberal free tier that gives you up to 100 devices and 1 million messages. And this is great whether you're a hobbyist or building a POC for your company. And if your company has any specific real-time needs, we're always welcome to contact me directly for a free architecture consultation with our team here. So I put my email up there. And do you want to talk about how you can get started with Cloudinary specifically?
Yeah, it's very simple. We have the documentation there. I've put that in the link here. So if you click on the link, you can just get started with how to perform all sorts of optimization and transformation for your media assets with Cloudinary. So
does Cloudinary have like a free tier that people can get started with?
Oh yeah, very, very short. Cloudinary just bumped up their free tier, which is very amazing. Just if you go to the pricing page, you can see what the free tier gives you. Like, this is great for startups or developers that need to build something and launch to the market on time. So with this free plan, you have access to 300,000 total images and videos, 20,000 monthly transformations that accrues to 10 gigabyte managed storage and 20 gigabytes monthly net VM bandwidth. So this is a very great free tier that allows you to get started with Cloudinary.
Awesome.
For a startup.
Yeah, take advantage of that, guys. Both PubNub and Cloudinary have amazing free tiers. So this is your chance to, now that you've watched the webinar, hopefully it's inspired you to kind of get creative with some of your projects and get started. So I guess we've gone through our presentation pretty quickly, so we're at another Q&A portion. So I do want to preface that at the end of this webinar, there is a quick 2-question survey. It probably will literally take you a minute or two to answer them, but it would be really helpful for us to get feedback from you guys about the content, what you thought about the webinar, and other things you'd like to see. So now we can get into the Q&A section. So some people have been asking questions throughout. If you guys haven't and have been holding off until now, feel free to submit questions in the little or the control panel where it says questions. I'm going to ask Craig, our customer support manager, to join us, and he's going to be answering technical PubNub questions, while Prosper here is going to be answering questions about Cloudinary. Craig, are you with us?
I am with you.
You want to give a quick shout out?
Hey, how's it going? It's Craig Conover from PubNub Support. If you've worked at PubNub, you've probably talked to me. Send your questions.
All right, so let's kind of just get it kicked off with some of the questions. Got a question. Does PubNub support Cloudinary's Node SDK module or any of the REST APIs?
Could you repeat that one more time?
Does PubNub support Cloudinary's Node SDK module or only the REST API?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer off the top of my head, but I do know that we have a feature that we either just rolled out or it's coming out soon, where you can use npm to install modules, to install any sort of Node modules. So look for that. Is what I could say.
Cool.
If you have any specific questions about that, if it's not working for you, just send a more detailed question to PubNub support.
Cool. So, question: does Cloudinary have any support for 3D imaging?
Sorry, can you repeat it?
Does Cloudinary have any support for 3D imaging?
For 3D imaging, right now, I don't think we have support for 3D imaging, but I think it's a very good question that I can also forward to support and to the product team, and we can get feedback on that very soon.
Okay, got another question. Do you provide any video calling solution for more than 2 users?
That's a PubNub question, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think I'm not really sure who that's directed to, but if you both have answers to it, then go for it.
Prosper?
Okay, so concerning a video calling solution, for a calling solution, we don't. But if you want to build a video solution, we provide what you call a Cloudinary video player that gives you support for adaptive bitrate streaming, allows you to support multiple playlists, allows you also to monetize videos, almost like you want to build like your own YouTube platform. So we support stuff like that. And it's can found on the documentation. So cloudinary.com/documentation, you'll find it there.
Go ahead, Craig.
Oh yeah. So on the PubNub side, we don't really support the audio video streaming side of things. You'll need a separate provider for doing that sort of thing. Live stream, I think, is one of them. Xerxes, and so on. But PubNub is often used as a signal protocol solution. And what does that mean? That means if you want to get two people connected to do audio and video type communication, you would use something like PubNub to say, okay, ring that phone. And what does that mean? That means, okay, I have people that are online and I can send a message, publish a message on a channel to somebody's personal channel that will end in a phone ringing on their end. And then they'll answer it, and then the connection details will be exchanged over PubNub, so it's just text, just messages being exchanged to get those connections, and then the connections are made through some streaming service. And then PubNub will be used for presence, chatting, text chatting, and hanging up the phone. I'm done, I'm gone, or some sort of status like I'm away, I'm busy, or I'm online. Hopefully that answered your question.
I'm kind of playing off that question actually, like how many users what's the maximum number of users who can join the video calling?
That is not something PubNub would control. Again, that's going to be the streaming services domain. PubNub would just allow you to ping millions of people to join a channel potentially, but supporting all those streams to each other, that's a different service.
I think this next question is for Prosper. Are we going to get access to the front end code?
Yes. So I'm just gonna send a GitHub URL where you can actually like clone it and test it out to see how it works for you.
Cool. If it's paid, what is a pricing plan? The person who asked this question, can you direct that a little bit more specifically? Is that to Cloudinary? Is that to PubNub? And what's the? I feel like that's a little bit. If you have to have a specific number, feel free to ping us directly, because I mean it really depends. But PubNub has a pricing page where there's a little widget that you can kind of answer that for yourself. It's very easy and transparent to see that.
I would also you could just send a message, send a question to PubNub support, and with how many users, what's your user base, or your expected user base, and your volume, just different stats about what your expectations are for your application. And if the pricing page doesn't answer your question, we can give you connect you with somebody that'll give you more details.
Cool. Another question. If it creates a URL to request actions and URL has a character limit, what if I want to apply too many actions and it crosses that limit? That request will fail. What's the alternative?
Okay, so if I get that right, if the URL has a character limit, so
I can jump in on that, Prosper, but I'll let you go first.
Okay, can you jump in on that right now, because I'm a little not clear about.
So in terms of PubNub, it's not really a PubNub limitation. It's really an HTTP limitation, but 32,000 characters. If you can't get it done in 32,000 characters, that's quite a job. You just split it up into multiple jobs, multiple requests. So you should be fine with 32K. I mean, we have thousands of customers doing all kinds of different use cases, and some of them push the limits of a 32 kilobyte payload. And when they do, they're either compressing in B64 encoding, or they just split it up into multiple messages. But when as far as sending commands for Cloudinary, I would imagine 32 kilobytes will be more than sufficient. And I'm done.
All right, so let's see the next question.
Okay, so I think when I was talking about when we were talking about the video calling solution, I just wanted to add something concerning people that have concerns about video. So I talked more about the kind of transformations and optimization you can do with your images. But then I refused to mention that you can also do the same with your videos. So if you on the screen right now, I have the link to like the documentation where you have the video manipulation and delivery documentation on Cloudinary. So on video, you can actually resize your videos. You can transform, change the format of your videos. You can actually also like concatenate videos with images. You can extract GIFs from your videos. You can also change the formats of your videos, generate thumbnails, and all of those good stuff. You can also do some overlays on your videos. So, like add a new image or combine two videos together, or actually get a preview of a video from an existing, bigger video. So you can do all of that too with Cloudinary, and the documentation is on the screen as we talk.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah. So
there's some questions about like video transformations, overlays, resize. Do you want to talk about that, Prosper?
Yeah. So that's what I just said. So you can actually apply transformations on your videos. And on the screen right now, I'm just trying to reference like the different materials that you can check for more information on how to do that. But like right now, you can resize and crop your videos. You can trim your videos. You can concatenate a video with another video. You can concatenate a video with an image. You also have like different effects that you can apply on your video. You can change the brightness, the contrast. You can fade in or fade out a video. You can add visual noise. You can adjust the volume. You can, generate. You can add text captions. You can add subtitles. There are a lot of, wonderful effects and transformations you can actually apply to your video using Cloudinary. And then another thing I'll talk about is also optimization for the next billion users. I mean, if you're very active, you'll have been hearing the next billion users a lot, especially coming from Google and the different conferences we have right now. So if you're talking about optimization, like serving your images and your videos to a lot of users, say users from Africa or China or Indonesia, where you have like a lot of people, with Cloudinary helps you, allows you to be able to serve those users, in a way that is less stressful for you as a developer or startup, because Cloudinary handles all of that. And with Cloudinary, it optimizes the images and the videos for the next billion users. So if somebody is coming online with a very low quality internet, because you are leveraging Cloudinary, it allows Cloudinary serves the user the best type of image for that type of connection, and this best type of video for that type of connection. So it's leverages like the CDN and everything that we provide to make sure that the next billion users can also access your platform without any fees.
Cool. Craig, this is a question for you. If I want to build real-time image filtering for a single user on an existing web app, is the main advantage of adding PubNub that will have reduced latency from using the PubNub DSN?
I'm not exactly sure how to answer that. I mean, I think the point of using PubNub is for what PubNub is good at, and that's sending messages in real time. And we have Cloudinary integration through functions. So I think you can use Cloudinary and you can use PubNub for separate requirements. However, if you have the need for both of those, we got you covered. So I'm kind of punting a little bit because I'm not exactly sure what the answer is you're looking for. Well, you're looking for the right answer, but maybe a little bit more detail, a little more context around that. It's a little vague. Well, I can't say it's vague. It's actually very specific, but I mean, there's an advantage using PubNub, there's an advantage using Cloudinary, and we just make it possible that you can use them both without doing any work on your server, without you host anything on your server. If that makes sense.
Right. And because it is on the PubNub data stream network, you do get the low latency, high reliability.
Correct.
All right, one question for Prosper. Can we protect our image, video, etc. on a Cloudinary URL using a password or token?
Yes, so Cloudinary actually provides a way for a type of authentication for your images and videos. And with that authentication, it allows you to protect your image so that you don't have any form of transformation just applied to it that you do not approve of. So you can actually generate from the Cloudinary dashboard. You can actually generate the type of authentication you want for that image before you apply that filter, so that once you have done that, nobody can take advantage of your image URL or video URL and try to manipulate it without approval or permission. So you can actually protect the image and video.
And on the PubNub side, we in the function itself, we have a feature called Vault, and it allows you to store those passwords securely, so that not even we can look at them. So it's basically encrypting all your secrets inside of functions, so that your function can access them and use those secrets without exposing them in clear text in the function itself.
We actually just had a Functions Vault webinar on Tuesday, so the recording is live. It's on our PubNub YouTube channel, so you can go ahead and kind of rewatch that if you're interested in learning more about the security features behind PubNub Functions Vault.
And also, you can, we have the Cloudinary blog. There's a blog on Cloudinary, cloudinary.com/blog, where you can actually search for authentication, and it just brings out like some of the posts where we talked about how you can protect your images and videos, and you can have more information on that. Then also, in addition to that, the image management feature that we provide also provides the ability for you to auto tag your images. It automatically auto tags the images, and it also provides some form of AI capabilities So, for example, you have an image and you need to be able to apply like a Snapchat filter. With a Snapchat filter, it automatically detects your eyes, your nose, and adds these other extra images. With Cloudinary, you can actually do something like that. So you can upload an image and it automatically detects the eyes. It automatically detects some facial characteristics, and you can do whatever you want with it. And one very good demo that I'd like to show you is what we have on Cloudidex. This is an example of a face overlay demo. This, you have like 10 different glasses where you can just, you change your glass, you change, and you can upload your image and you can change the glass. It automatically detects the eyes, the facial attributes, which is the eyes, and automatically assigns the image to it. And this is all done, using Cloudinary. In fact, there is a blog post about how this is done. So you can just search on the Cloudinary blog and you can know how to go about it.
Awesome. So I think that's it for large overarching questions. I know some of you guys had a couple of questions that are pretty set to your use case and example. And for those types of questions, I've asked you to just kind of email me directly so that we can, arrange a call and go over that a little bit more specifically in detail. But I think that's it for us for our webinar today. Thank you so much for joining us. I just want to give a thank you to Prosper and Cloudinary for this amazing webinar. Do you have any last words you want to say?
Thank you guys for listening to me. I'm really glad that we're able to go over this demo, show the possibilities of how you can take advantage of the serverless architecture, how you can take advantage of Cloudinary for your optimization and your delivery needs, and how we've been able to show what's possible with PubNub on Cloudinary. So
yeah, and like I said, this is all recorded. We will be sending out the video and a follow-up email with a link. And for those of you who are still with us, thank you so much. Please take the survey afterwards and let us know what you think about it. Thanks so much, and come join us for our next webinar. Bye. Have a good day.
bye.